Hello there, and then welcome to a brand new video. This is How Beyond Numbers, where we learn maths the easy way. Now, in this video, we are still on the measures of central tendency, and specifically, we are looking at median. When we talk of median, what comes to mind? So, to define median, we say the median is the middle value in an ordered data set. Let's take note of the word here, ordered. When we say an ordered data set, it simply means you have a data set and you have to make sure you have arranged it in order. That is either ascending or descending, but most of the times it is preferable you use what the ascending. We'll be looking at two methods of determining this median. The first one is when you want to determine the median through a raw data. Then secondly, when you want to determine the median from a frequency table. So without wasting much time, let's go into that. So the first one I'm looking at is what the median in a raw data set. Now, when we talk of a raw data set, you've been given just some values, right? Just a raw data set here. And then you want to determine the median. There are some steps we need to go through. As I said earlier on, arrange your data in ascending order. And then secondly, you find the middle position. Finding the middle position has got to do with these two items over here. So first of all, sometimes you'll be given odd number of what data values. If you have odd number, right after your arrangement, your middle number would be, or your middle value is going to be your median. But if you arrange and you realize that they are even, there are two numbers in the middle there, the average of these two numbers becomes your median. So let's look at some examples over here. So this here says, what is the median of these values? What is the median of the values 5, 3, 7, 1, and then 4? So the first thing we need to do is to arrange it in ascending order. We should order it. Hence our solution. So in order, looking at what we have, our smallest number is 1. So I have my 1, followed by 3, followed by 4, 5, and then 7. These are the numbers we see in our values. Now that we have arranged them, we now look at the middle one. You see, we look at the number in the middle position. Looking for the number in the middle position, I realize that this one here takes off this one. So I'm trying to take off the values from the extremes. This also goes with this, and then it means this one is my middle number in the middle position. You see, so it simply implies that the median of the data set we were given, that is 5. So the median of, let's say, 5, 3, 7, 1, and then 4 is what? Is the 4. Very simple. So what did we do? We just took the values, arranged them in what? Ascending order, and then found the what? The middle number. Now let's look at how we can do it if we had odd number of values. Sorry, if we have even number of values. So this is the question here. It says we have to find the median of the set of values 6, 2, 9, and then 1. Right? So our solution, we first of all need to order these. Ordering it simply means we are arranging it from smallest to the biggest. The smallest is 1. So our ordered values are 1, followed by a 2, a 6, and then a 9. These are our what? Set of ordered values. And then if we want the middle now, you realize that if this one goes off and then this also goes off, we have two sets of values in the middle, right? So this implies that our median. So we said earlier on that if we want the median and then there are what? Even number of data points, then we find the average of these values. That is 2 plus 6, then divided by 2. Because they are the remaining two numbers. You see, Then our 2 plus 6 gives us what? An 8. So we have 8 over 2, which in turn gives us a 4. So that simply means the median of what? This set of values over here, 6, 2, 9, and 1 is what? 4. And that is it. Okay, so in this last segment here, we are looking at how to determine the median from a frequency table. Here are the steps. So first of all, you need to calculate your cumulative frequency. If you're able to calculate your cumulative frequency, you would know what the cumulative frequency is in a bit. If you're able to calculate that, you find the median position by using n plus 1 over 2. This n over here is simply the total frequency. Other books write it as sigma f. So sigma f plus 1 divided by what? 2. It's all the same. Whichever way you understand it, you can use it, right? So n plus 1 all over 2, or the sum of the total frequencies plus 1 divided by 2. Then from that, you can locate your median in the cumulative frequency column. So let's look at an example to better understand what I'm talking about. So I have this table here, which has just our x values and then the frequencies. You see, so I'll use this table to explain how to find the median using a frequency table. Now, if you want to use this table to get our median, the first one says you have to calculate the cumulative frequency. So you are going to put the cumulative frequency over here. So we have our cumulative frequency. This being the first one, that is why I'm writing it in full over here. But for short, you can just write CF, right? Now, how do we get that? So to get, when we say something is cumulating, it means it is adding up. You see, it is adding up. So all we need to do is to what? Add up the frequencies. You see, so initially we have 0. Now 0 plus 3 gives us what? A 3 over here. So the cumulative frequency for the value x is what? 3. Then this answer here, we now add it to 5 to get the next value of our accumulating frequency. So 5 plus 3 plus 5, that gives us an 8. Then 8 plus 4, that gives us a 12 over here. And then 12 plus 2, which also gives us a 14. Let me go over the cumulating frequency again. So cumulating simply means you are adding up. You see, so you are adding up the frequencies starting from our first x value and then from 0 as well. So 0 plus 3 gives us what? 3. Then the new cumulative frequency we have here, we add it to what? The next frequency. So 3 plus what? 5. That gives us an 8. 8 plus 4. That gives us a 12. 12 plus 2. That gives us a 14. You see that? Okay. Now, you are even to also take note that this final answer you have here as your cumulative frequency for the last decade, it is actually also the value of sigma f. You see, you realize that if you add 3 to 5 to 4 and then to 2, you get 14, right? Okay, so we now have sigma f, that is the sum of all the frequencies. Now let's see how we are going to use that to get our median value. Okay, so let's take note that we had sigma f to be what? 14, right? Then our median position. So our median position, we said its value is what? Sigma f plus what? 1 all over 2. And that is what? 14. So 14 plus 1 all over 2. And 14 plus 1 all over 2 gives us a 7.5. Now, anytime you solve and then you get a decimal, such as this 7.5. 7.5 simply means it is between what? The seventh and then the eighth value. Hope you are getting me. If we solve and then we had just 7, fine. We'll go to our frequency, look for where we have cumulating frequency of what? 7. If you solve and then we had just 8, we go back to our table, look for where we have a cumulating frequency of 8, and that is all. But anytime you solve and then you get a decimal, such as the 7.5 over here, then we are going back to our table, look for where we have the 7th and then the 8th cumulating frequency, and we find the average of that as well. I do hope you understand this concept. If you don't, you can just rewind, listen again, and I do think you'll get it. So let me take it one more time. If you solve for your median position and you have what? 0.5. So if you have 7.5, then we simply mean our 7.5 is here, and we know we have 7 and then 8. So it is between our 7 and then our 8 value. But if you just had what? 7, you go straight and then get it. Okay. So now that we have 7.5, we are going to go back to our table. And looking at our table, where do we have a cumulating frequency of 7 occurring? 7 occurring. Take note. Up to the 5, we had a cumulating frequency of what? 3. So 7th will be around here as well, because we go to 7 and then 8. So it means the 7th is in here and the 8th is also in here. Now, what value corresponds to this 7th and then 8th cumulating frequency? That is 10. You see, that is 10. So 10 is the 7th frequency or the 7th occurrence, and then it is also the 8th occurrence as well. So I come back here and I say that from my table, we know that what? The 7th is what? The 7th gives me 10, and then the 8th as well gives me what? 10. Hence our median is going to be the average of what? So 10 plus 10 all over 2. And 10 plus 10 all over 2 gives us what? 10. You see? Hence our median is what? 10. As simple as that. Assuming we solved and then we had what? The median position to be 7, as I said earlier on. Would have just gone to our table and then look for where 7 is. So if we come here and then 8 is here, then it means 7 is inside as well. So from 3, we go to 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 is also around here. Then it will give us straight away 10. But this time around, we had what? 7.5. And it applies to what we did over here, where we said if the median is what? If there are 2 values, all you do is to do what? Find the average. Well, so that will be it for this particular video. I would solve more of these type of questions in upcoming ones as well, so that you get more understanding on how to get the median from a frequency table. But I'll leave you with one try work. So here is the try work, right? This here is just a very simple frequency table, and it says study the frequency table below. Study the frequency table below, which shows the mark obtained by students in a math mentor, right? And answer the questions that follows. You are first of all required to represent the data on a bar chart. Secondly, what is the mode mark obtained by the student? And then finally, you have to find the median mark, right? Okay. So thanks for staying tuned, and I do hope that the video will be helpful to help you understand all that we've done so far. See you in our next videos, and then stay safe.